Hey guys. Alright. Got started on the video a little bit sooner today. I have so much to do. I need to start writing out a planner thing for myself because I got too much to do and I'm exhausted today. So I did get a load of laundry on our line. I've got to sit down and list out things that we need to get done before we move. You know, things that are going to cost us money. Our big things are going to be the cabins, a vehicle, the cabins. Those are the two biggest things. We're going to need to be able to afford a greenhouse before the end of the summer, at least by fall. And I'm actually tempted just to get one from the building place that we're getting our cabins from. So,
Sustained.
Works. Looks good too. Yeah. Okay, this chapter is chapter 8, record keeping and planning. Hey, just in time. This is what I need. Okay. I'm going to try to make a few several videos, you guys. This one's called record keeping and planning. It's on chapter 8. And this is called don't skip the planning stage. I need to take a lesson from myself, don't I? When we first started homesteading, the first thing we did was overanalyze every decision we made. Some things you have to, though. Then, partly in frustration, we just started doing stuff. We took our little bit of knowledge and started applying it to everyday situations. We had chickens, and we knew that chickens needed 4 ounces of food a day. So we made sure the chickens had 4 ounces of food a day. I weighed it out and figured out how much chicken feed a coffee can holds. And then made sure the chickens got it. I didn't even go that far. I bought a feeder and made sure I filled it.
TV. Changed my mind. Try.
Every day, 4 ounces per bird without fail. We were very, very proud of ourselves. Since our chickens were well fed, they started producing more eggs, and we liked eggs, so we got more chickens.
Tonight.
Will you give me my yogurt?
Watching Golden Girls. What does it look like? Say hello, Sophia. Not now. I have to go to the bathroom before I lose my seat. They do the same jokes every week. Hit the music, will you? I'm gonna watch Dance Fever. Yeah.
Oh, I think you're losing it.
Then stick me in a state hospital. One with a big screen TV.
I'm sorry. But you're the one who wanted a trial.
Sorry, you guys.
Still thought justice was
Alright.
real.
Getting chickens at the time was easy. My sister-in-law sold the eggs we produced at the retail store where she worked. Customers and coworkers got to know her as the chicken lady. So whenever anyone got chickens, they'd talk to her about them quite a few times. Because of moving or because they'd bitten off more they could chew, people would give us their chickens, which, of course, we accepted. At the end of the summer, we had 120 birds in our flock, and the feed bill was about $300 a month. It was officially costing us extra to homestead. That wasn't the kind of homesteading we were looking for. We wanted a homestead, not a hobby farm. So we sat down and made a plan. We set up a fodder system to feed the birds we had, started culling the flock and filling our freezer, and expanded the enclosures and coops. Within a couple of months, we had cut our feed costs to about $30 a month and actually started producing more eggs. Because the birds weren't as stressed, were fed better, and had more space to move around in, they produced more. Makes sense, huh?
He's a quarterback. I played for 7 years in high school.
We had meat in the freezer, eggs in the fridge, and a better grasp on how to handle things. And that's a good thing. The entire ordeal could have been avoided, however, if we hadn't skipped the planning stage before taking in everyone's chickens. My thumb hurts. Crap, I gotta get an apple cider vinegar drink, too. Planning is probably the biggest fail made during the beginning of a homestead. While it's expected... Thank you.
No.
and even encourage that you'll make mistakes at the beginning of your homestead journey, proper planning is often the difference between quitting and continuing. Conversely, you should know that your plan isn't set in stone. A good plan is flexible and, above all, serves as a starting point. A good plan, as illustrated above, will allow you to experiment and fail without going broke first, which will ultimately give you the freedom you need to achieve success. Don't skip the planning stage. Getting chickens is easy. Okay, we'll show you the picture. And I do believe those are the bared rocks. Okay, actually, I'll include this part in it because it falls under that category. Alright, making a farm plan. Since you're dealing with a homestead, you'll actually need two plans, a farm plan and a business plan. We'll discuss the basics of business planning in a later chapter, but for now you'll need to start with a farm plan. Note, some people combine their farm and business plans. I don't, as homesteading tends to be a mixed income enterprise, with income coming from crops, handicrafts, and even services like classes. I prefer to do a farm plan separate and later incorporate that into an overall business plan. Your farm plan should include two parts, animals and plants. The plants are the crops you'll grow, including herbs, flowers, and vegetables. The animals are the animals you'll raise for profit or food production, which doesn't include pets, be they dogs, cats, chickens, or goats. First, establish your goals. How much money do you want to make? Or if you're farming for calories, more on that in a moment, how many calories would you like your farm to produce? Start modestly. If you underpromise or overdeliver, even to yourself, you're much more likely to stick with it. It's a lot easier to grow over time and succeed than it is to overextend and then try to figure out how to pull back. To start with, your farm plan should begin with why you're engaging in a farm operation to begin with, cash or calories. If you're farming for cash or profit, you'll need a slightly different plan than if you're farming for calories. In other words, farming to feed you and your family. For us, it's going to be both. Starting with crops, your farm plan should include a list of crops you'd like to grow, a copy of your soil test, a list of amendments you'll need for the soil, a calendar noting when to add those amendments, a calendar for planting, a calendar for harvesting, and a watering schedule. Your farm plan should also include a budget so you don't overspend before you get anything in the ground, and yes, this includes farm plans for calories. You'll also need a plan for your harvest, and this is the big split between farming for calories versus farming for cash. If you're farming for calories, you'll need to decide what you will do with your harvest. Will you freeze your crops, ferment them, or can and preserve them? If you don't know ahead of time, you'll find yourself in the situation I was in. I had 300 pounds of squash on my kitchen table with no idea of what I was going to do with it. If you're farming for cash, you'll need a plan to get those crops to your customers, be it CSA pickups, deliveries to restaurants, or direct sales at farmers markets. Planning for your animals is similar. You'll need a list of the animals you're going to keep, a plan for their shelter and food, as well as a budget for how much the animals will cost. Again, you'll need a plan in place to process the products of those animals. If you're raising them for meat, you'll need some sort of space and method of doing so, or at least some idea of how much it will cost to have them slaughtered and butchered at an off-site facility. Note, some states allow for the home processing of birds, but nearly all of them require a USDA-certified butcher for processing most other animals. Well, we're not going to be using the rabbits for meat or our goats. I would like feeder pigs. Sure, I can connect with a place that can butcher them for us. So, the quail will be meat birds. And Andrew wants his for business and meat. I mean, we can probably combine since we're going to be on the property. I'd like to get like a double, triple, maybe even quadruple amount of the quail so we can do that. We will have meat chickens. So that's going to like guarantee some meat for the freezer. I would like turkeys, because they do help to guard the flock. Guineas help to guard the flock. You know, they also help with bugs. I want ducks. You know, duck eggs. I would like to get the ducks that produce a lot of eggs.
Quack.
Because duck eggs, especially if we can sell a dozen of duck eggs, we could easily sell duck eggs for $7 a dozen and people would pay it. And it's a lot cheaper than some people sell them for. Some people sell them for $6 or $7 a piece, which in my mind is ridiculous. I mean, that's just way overpriced. And I think I'm gonna use this plan in this book to try to, figure out what we're doing and that kind of thing and combine it, and yeah. Check with your local extension office to find out more. You'll need to know how to get the meat or the eggs, milk, and honey to market if you're raising them for sale. If you're raising them for calories, you'll need to figure out how to store the products, either in your freezer or some other method. Meat can be canned and so can milk. Eggs can be frozen. Either way, you'll need a plan to deal with the products when they're ready. You don't want to be in a situation where you raise broiler chickens and then don't know how to process one. I find it best to keep all this information in a 3-ring binder. For me, it means I can carry my farm plan anywhere without having to worry about an internet connection or power source. That's us right there. And that's exactly what the homesteading binder is for. So whenever I go to the extension office to get advice or input, it's right there. And since I'm an organized nerd, I can outfit it with index tabs, a table of contents, and even stickers. There is a caveat to my 3-ring binder system. I keep all that information backed up on my computer. So my spreadsheet for my crop list, my calendar, my soil test, all that information is on my laptop. That way, if I have to make any changes, especially early on in developing my farm plan, I take notes directly on my hard copy and then make the changes on my computer when necessary. If I didn't do that, my plans would be a squiggle-covered mess well before I started to implement them. Okay, so that's it for the beginning of that. The next section is farming versus gardening. Farm and garden design and layout, what to grow, cash versus calories. Cash crops, calorie crops. And I'll probably just make a video out of that section. But I'm going to go ahead and get off from this one, and I will get this one up there, and I will see you guys. I should be able to get the other one up there. So I'll see you guys in a little bit on the next video. Alright, okay, I will go into that on the next video before I upload it, so I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye, guys. Remember to do your research, guys. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you like and share the videos. Share them on all your platforms with friends, family, neighbors, homesteaders that you know. And be sure to hit the notification bell and click on all because I do try to upload quite a bit. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.